Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to today's news bulletin. I'm thrilled to stand before you as your news anchor for the very first time, marking my debut. Now, without further ado, let us commence with the top stories that made our headlines for the day. Artemis is not conducive to settle inter-clans calls, commander asserts. 2 businessmen executed in Dusamareb clan feud. Hirshabelle leader launches Johar off-stream project for water and agriculture. Prime Minister Hamza calls on Islamic scholars to support the government in the fight against Al-Shabaab. Commander Lieutenant General Sam Okiding firmly declares that Artemis will not be involved in internal wranglings in Las Anod regarding leadership, as that's outside stipulation. This is what the commander had to say.
There are so many operations in the part of the country. For example, Las Anod. There are conflicts, and Artemis is here. Artemis is for the entire country. Why can't they go and put those things right? And then even the second part says, can Artemis go to Las Anod and put the situation under control? What kind of war is in Las Anod? What I know, I think there was a fight between clans, then the local forces, and the dispute is about leadership. One group is saying we don't belong here, we belong this side.
Dusamareb, the administrative capital of Galmudug state, was struck by tragedy after an ongoing feud between 2 Habargidir sub-tribes, Saleman and Air clans, ended in death on Tuesday evening. In a shocking act of violence, 2 prominent businessmen, Sheikh Hassan Dirshe Ade and Saeed Tahlil Muhammad, were brutally shot and killed.
Dusamareb, the administrative capital of Galmudug state, was plunged into tragedy on Tuesday evening as the ongoing cloud feud between 2 sub-tribes of Habargadir, Saleban and Air clans took a deadly turn. 2 prominent businessmen, Sheikh Hassan Dirshe Ade and Saeed Tahlil Muhammad, both hailing from the Saleban sub-tribe, were brutally shot and killed in a shocking act of violence. The perpetrators, believed to be armed gunmen from the rival Air clan, launched their attack in the heart of Dusamareb's main market shortly after Maghrib prayer. Safely evading capture, the assailants are currently at large, posing a significant threat to the safety and security of the community. In response, authorities in Galmudug have launched a comprehensive investigation, leaving no stone unturned in their quest to apprehend the suspects and bring them to justice. This latest act of violence is widely viewed as a retaliatory measure for a violent incident that occurred in Hanarbore, located north of Dusamareb, just a day prior. During that fateful event, the Saleban gunmen took the life of a member of the Air clan and left another wounded, further exacerbating the deep-rooted tensions between the 2 factions. What is particularly alarming about this recent attack is its potential to ignite larger-scale violence within urban areas. Commander of the Galmudug Division, Colonel Ahmed Abdullah, expressed his apprehension. Despite urgent calls for peace from leaders of both clans, the situation on the ground remains highly tense. These killings have sent shockwaves through the Dusamareb community and the neighboring city of Adado, instilling a deep sense of fear among residents. There is a growing consensus that immediate action must be taken to address the root causes of the conflict and prevent further escalation.
Hamza Abdi Bare, the Prime Minister of Somalia's federal government, has called on Islamic scholars to support the government's offensive against the militant group Al-Shabaab. Premier Bare made this appeal during the opening of a conference focused on the involvement of Islamic scholars in promoting peace, reconciliation and the restoration of harmony in the country.
Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Bare of the federal government of Somalia has called on Islamic scholars to play a pivotal role in supporting the government's offensive against the militant group Al-Shabaab. Prime Minister Bare made this appeal during the opening of a conference focused on the involvement of Islamic scholars in promoting peace, reconciliation and the restoration of harmony in the country. The conference, which took place on Tuesday, aimed to highlight the influential role that Islamic scholars can play in fostering a sense of unity among the Somali people and garnering support for the ongoing efforts to combat Al-Shabaab. Prime Minister Bare stressed the need for the scholars to step up their involvement in supporting the government and the Somali National Army in their endeavors to bring lasting peace and stability to the nation. During his address, Prime Minister Barre emphasized the essential role of the scholars in the constitutional review process. He voiced the significance of a complete constitution for the functioning of a legitimate government, stating, "A government without a complete constitution cannot be a government. We need to complete the draft constitution." Prime Minister Barre acknowledged the tangible progress made by the government in its pursuit of debt relief and the restoration of crucial services in areas liberated from Al-Shabaab control.
Hirshabelle leader launches Johar Offstream project for water and agriculture. Somalia's regional state of Hirshabelle has initiated the Johar Offstream project under the leadership of President Ali Goodlawi Hussein. This project aims to rehabilitate the Sabuni Canal and harness its potential for sustainable irrigation, thus driving economic growth and poverty reduction in the region.
President Ali Goodlawi Hussein of the regional state of Hirshabelle in Somalia has launched the Johar Offstream project, or JOSP. The project, inaugurated on Tuesday, aims to rehabilitate the Sabuni Canal and harness its potential for sustainable irrigation, thereby driving economic growth and poverty reduction in the region. President Hussein was joined by officials from the federal government of Somalia in this momentous endeavor. The launch event witnessed the presence of Zahra Abdi, the Director of Poverty Reduction and Durable Solutions at the Ministry of Planning, Investments and Economic Development. JOSP is a comprehensive undertaking that seeks to revitalize the Sabuni Canal, a crucial waterway in the Johar region. The rehabilitation of this canal holds immense potential for expanding irrigation capabilities and improving water management systems, ultimately benefiting local farmers and boosting agricultural productivity. The project aligns with the government's broader vision of harnessing Somalia's agricultural potential and reducing dependency on food imports. This in turn will not only bolster local food production, but also create employment opportunities and stimulate rural economies. The project's implementation will not only provide immediate benefits through improved access to water for irrigation, but also contribute to long-term sustainability and resilience in the face of climate change and water scarcity challenges.
The United Nations Security Council on Tuesday renewed the mandate of UNSOM for another year until October 31, 2024. Resolution 2705 was adopted unanimously by the Council, urging UNSOM to maintain and strengthen its presence across Somalia in consultation with Somalia's federal government and its member states, along with strengthening its cooperation with Somalia and the African Union.
The United Nations Security Council renewed the mandate of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia for another year until October 31, 2024. The 15-member council unanimously adopted Resolution 2705, which requests the United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia to continue to maintain and strengthen its presence across Somalia in consultation with the federal government of Somalia and the Somalia's federal member states, as well as to strengthen its cooperation with Somalia and the African Union. It encourages the United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia to continue coordinating United Nations efforts to maximize joint approaches and joint programming in relevant areas to support the Somalia state-building process. It reaffirms and calls for timely implementation of the recommendations of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia Strategic Review, including developing a roadmap for the eventual transition from the United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia to the United Nations Country Team, finalizing staffing and configuration review, and reaching a common understanding of a possible end state of the mission. The Security Council established in June 2013 to support the state building and peacekeeping in Somalia.
Now for our last story. In a devastating report, Somalia's Ocha Regional Office reveals the shocking toll of flooding. Nearly 280,000 people affected in October alone. The situation worsens as Gerbahare district in the Gedo region falls victim to destructive flash floods, claiming at least 2 lives and causing multiple injuries. Our reporter Abdirizak Ali Geise has more on this heart-wrenching event.
Somalia's OCHA Regional Office for Southern and Eastern Africa reports that nearly 280,000 people were affected by flooding in October. According to the organization, areas in Galmudug, Hirshabelle, Jubaland and Southwest states were hardest hit by the seasonal rains and related flash flooding. It goes on to say that the majority of those affected, the majority of whom are in displacement camps, have reportedly returned to their normal lives after the flash floods subsided, but they still require humanitarian assistance. However, because the majority of the displacement sites are in low-lying areas, they remain vulnerable to subsequent flooding if the rains continue as predicted. Humanitarian partners have activated targeted emergency response in the regions in collaboration with authorities. Emergency preparedness and flooding response cooperation meetings are still being held across the country, led by the State Ministry of Human Affairs and Disaster Management. Meanwhile, Garbahare district in the Gedo region has been ravaged by flash floods, resulting in the loss of at least 2 lives and leaving several people injured. Governor Iman Ado Karshe confirmed the dire situation, expressing deep concern over the impact of the ongoing downpour. Bridges within the district have been severely compromised due to the relentless floods, further exacerbating the challenges faced by the affected communities.
Dear viewers, that's all we have prepared for you today. Kindly stay connected to Dalsan TV's platforms for more updates. And with that, I wish you a lovely evening and see you soon.